sound from them?
No, I have no sound yet.
Keeps on saying there is an error playing this video.
On Ustream? On live stream?
Live stream, yeah.
Online, just for the group.
How come I'm not getting it?
So just for the group here.
All right.
So they can see Shuddha and Uve. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand Shuddhatma Bhagavan. This we're now starting the post break session. Waiting for the video to come on. And we read somewhere, we just began the reading the miraculous play of Udgal only. All the miracle skills are of Udgal only. I keep on getting this
What?
Error on the video. Is that what you're getting?
On the video of Parushan? Now it comes back.
I just refreshed the screen, their screen. Now I got the sound.
Yeah.
They're still singing the song.
Yes.
So day 2, Parayan Aptavani 3, August 23rd, 2013. It's about, I'll tell you what time it is over there. In India it is 10:20 in the morning in Simandar city. 10:20 in the morning, Simandar city. Here in USA it is 1:45 in the morning. A very beautiful song, a very old, very famous pad. Shuddhatma joine Shuddhatma san. Let me become the pure soul by seeing the pure soul, O my Lord, O Dada. Grant me the energy whereby I become the pure soul by employing the vision that you have given me of the pure soul. And by being the knower and the seer, by being the seer and the knower, I become free from this body complex. Shuddhatma joine, Shuddhatma Thavani Dada Shakti Apone. Let me see the pure soul, and by seeing the pure soul is everywhere, let me become the pure soul. And let me make good use of these eyes that you have given me, the inner vision, sadupyog. The upyog of the S capital self is to see the self in everyone only. Jai Sachidanand.
So I asked Prashit to talk to the translators.
You go a little slow.
And I think it's better, right?
Yes, I agree.
He said
the
message.
readings especially, they go so fast.
Yeah, he said message conveyed.
Okay, good.
So I wrote him on
Oh, good. So
on
now that will be in the
WhatsApp.
afternoon session only, because now the reading is over. We lost the signal again.
But did they become slower in the reading or not? Or was it the whole?
No, they did not. This
Did not.
morning's gentleman was very fast.
Okay, but he said now mesh, and it was done on 6:04.
Okay, good. All right, that's good.
But it's a while ago. It's 50 minutes, so they still was. I'm writing them still, still very
Yes,
fast.
I've got the questions going, so he's announcing the questions now.
Okay. Is he again up? Live stream is back. Okay, good.
Sanjay Shantilal Trivedi, Andheri, Mumbai. As people are walking in from their morning break. Speak up, sir. In your talk with Sanjay, the one who is hurting, you can be the knower of the pain, you can be the knower of the sufferer. How can we have this knowledge continuously? Can we ask for even more energy so that we can remain in this Gnan? Yes, for sure you can ask these energies. You know, the food has been served to you, but then you ask Dada, can you do something so this food will come in my mouth automatically? How can you do that? You have to lift it up, lift the food and place it in your mouth, do you not? I have taken Gnan for the past 11 years, but if still there are kashais at the gross level, then you should understand that they're happening through Bipin, not to you. Then you should tell Bipin, do you think that looks good? No, why don't you separate Bipin from you? Yeah, you have been separated from Bipin. If you enter somebody's home, will you not take a beating? So why don't you just go to sleep and in a relaxed manner and do not invite suffering? Keep it separate and see it separate. That is the most important thing. Keep it separate and see it separate, and then you have been given this magnificent weapon of the five agnas, and then use those five agnas. Then double A is such a great thing, and then the one who cannot adjust with other people, he really does. Yeah, you have to adjust to people who are disadjusting to you. You have to adjust to them. I need to avoid clashes. The other person does not need to clash with me. I need to avoid clashes. I need to accept that whatever has happened is justice. I need to accept that the fault is of the sufferer. If Bipin is suffering, I need to accept that the fault is his only and nobody else's. And And if we walk according to how Dada has said, then moksha will be yours for sure. Next question. On page 15 you read yesterday. We Mahatmas got Gnan. We have attained absolute vision as, and we have the doubtless self only. Madhvi has got constant doubts. There are Madhvis, right? Then why are you becoming Madhvi? Let the doubts continue in Madhvi, but you are the doubtless one, right? And you have to settle file of Madhvi with equanimity. There are three. If Madhvi becomes angry, then do you like the anger or do you dislike the anger? I dislike the anger. That means you're separate from the anger, are you not? And then the anger that is discharging will discharge and go away. That's all. So there are three parts. Madhvi gets angry, you in the middle do not like it, and you are aware of the awakened one inside. But the other person always think that this lady is not adjusting, she says. No. Right now, just focus on becoming free without kashais, that is all. My question is that the Atma is not Gnan Swarup, it is Vignan Swarup. It is really pure Vignan. Gnan is the self only. Is Dada trying to explain to us differently? Yes, Dada tries to explain to us in so many different ways, and we need to understand it from his viewpoint. Vignan, Gnan. The scientific Gnan is the self. Whereas you know how to make kadi, and that is the Gnan, you see. There is to make the knowledge to how to make soup is separate from the knowledge of the soul, you see. I am internal, I am indestructible, I never take birth. That is Avinashi Gnan. I understand that it does not come into contact immediately, but you see, once you get it in your. Shall I ask a question about samayik? No. Yes, if I say no, then you'll feel very bad. If I say yes, then all the others will follow suit. So what should I do? If I tell you yes, go ahead and ask the next question, then you see, then you will feel. Then everyone else will say, he said yes to that lady, and therefore why is he not answering my question too? But so now you really put me in a spot. You should just put another question in a separate question. But who wants to let go of the mic once it has come in the hand? But when your question comes, the mic will come to you. Then Shantilal Trivedi. Yesterday in satsang, all these years I have heard about the soul. And the Dada says that when you have taken Gnan, the karma of water and steam are gone, are destroyed. However, the ice karma you have to suffer. The karma that have formed into ice. Why not even destroy even the karma of the ice also? Dada is so powerful. When Dada says that I do not even have the ability to break a wafer or a taco. Have you ever broken a taco? Yes, I have. Were you able to break it exactly into half? No. And when you try to make 2 pieces, it becomes 4 pieces, you see. And so, supposing I want to tear this piece of paper exactly into half, it will not happen. This is all. The Gnani never enters into Parsatta. You see, the Parsatta, you never enter into somebody else's home. You see, the Gnani is always working through the self only. And he is working. He never enters into the Pudgal. He never pokes his finger into the Pudgal complex. When the ice karma unfold, then Deepak says the law is that when you are about to deliver a baby, all the energies will come to the mother. You see, when you have to climb a mountain, all the energies will come into your legs. The energies will arise. What is the solution? Just focus on the Gnan, that is the solution only, and settle the files within equanimity. You don't have to do anything. You just have to settle with equanimity, that is all. And so focus on the intention that you want to be in the agnas of the Gnani Purush and nothing else. Next one. Next one. Smita Mehta. Yesterday samayik. To see file 1 is separate, and in the evening samayik, I could see a lot. I could see a lot beautifully. But I wanted to know.
Shuddha, can you do headset because people cannot hear you because of the sound? Can you wear headset for you and then speak? Then they hear you quite better.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I got it going. So I will do the headsets. And so inside the time that passed in the samayik, so we know that is all discharge only that is left. And if we do not see the discharge as discharge through the awareness of self, then it will remain pending. It says the moment you become aware as the self, then it is all gone. Pending, it only remains for the one who does not see it as the self. And pending remains for the one who wants to counter attack and says, I will not tolerate this, I will take care of that guy, I will get back to him, etc. But the one who says that, but you are doing pratikraman and you are, so therefore it is not, the discharge will not remain pending for you. You see, what remains pending is your opinion. It's the opinion that is remaining pending, and that you need to wash off through some pratikraman samayik process. If your opinion remains that I need to really say my words to him and I need to thrash him with words, then again you will encounter the husband again and who will mistreat you. So you do not want to really carry forward these subatomic particles. But you're saying that we need to remain in the awakened awareness of the self by the second. But you see, no, there is no, you will not bind anything, only you will lose your bliss only, you will not charge any new karma. She was trying to say, if I am not in the awakened awareness of as the self, then will I not bind some karma? And the Gnani says, no, you're not going to bind any new karma, only you will lose the bliss of your self. But I wanted to know that about this pending, what remains pending? That's what I want to know. Did you say that we have 1 or 2 more lives left? Then what is remaining pending? What about that time? But your opinions remain, you see. You think that, this should be this way and this should be this way, and that is what remains pending. I should do this. If I don't do this, who will do that? All of those things are opinions that need to be wiped off. On page 5, the Gnay and Drashya Drashta. On page 82, there is a deeper meaning on page 82 on the seer and the seen and the knower and the known. whatever thought comes there, that is called this drashya, and specific thoughts is the thoughts that are seen specifically, they are called known thoughts. No, I have known these thoughts versus I have seen these thoughts, you see. I have seen generally, seeing them generally versus seeing them specifically. Everybody gets the same kind of Gnan in the Gnan Vidhi, says the old gentleman. How does the self get separated in the Gnan Vidhi? I want to know. Yes, the samarpan, the surrendering, and the humility have a definite role in the separation. Everybody gets the same experience, however, the awareness is the different changes in front of the unloading stock of karma. And this Gnan result is the result of grace of Gnani Purush Dadashri. Supposing after taking Gnan, he doesn't do Charan Vidhi, doesn't do anything, even if he doesn't follow the agnas, he has said something, the qualities of the self in the Gnan Vidhi, it will come in useful, even if he is not. He will get the link in the next life. The seed of the Gnan Vidhi does not go to waste, says our Gnani Puja Deepak Bhai. Dada, our Gnani Purush Dadashri is all merciful, full of compassion. Next one, Ravi Singh Chauhan and Chandrika Patel. The Gnani can see all scenes when it has begun for us too. Before we were never able to see our own mistakes. Now we are seeing our own mistakes. At 360 degrees, we'll be able to see. Even now, at 305 degrees, you are able to see. You see, you can see better on the 13th floor as opposed to the 10th floor. Can you not? So the higher your degrees of awareness go, then you will, supposing you go to 315 to 320, you will be able to see more mistakes of yours. On page 6, one becomes convinced that I am pure soul. Who is this potane? Who is this self? The self, the one who used to say I am Uve, now says I am pure soul. That one. The original self has got nothing to do with this thing. The original self is the pure drashta, the seer only, continuous absolute seer. But the 300 degrees comes at one begets the experience. And then he says, no, I am the knower and the seer only. But his belief changes, and the wrong belief is replaced by the right vision. So from the vision, he becomes the drashta. From the seer, from the seen, he becomes the seer. From the objects to be known, he becomes the knower. And then slowly the experiences degrees increase. Next one, Ravi and Chandrika Patel. Question. I have written my question to you. Whatever activity of file 1 is there is on the basis of past life belief. And now the new belief has arisen. When will it come into effect? It depends upon the number of layers of the wrong belief that are there. If you have a 1,000 layer of mistakes or 100,000 layer of mistakes, then until that becomes completely layer free, it will not come into conduct, will it? The old fruits will be settled with equanimity by remaining in the 5 agnas, and the new knowledge will prevail. You see? everything is on a basis of a link only. I make mistakes in five agnas, then reset the five agnas. If you make mistakes at the end of the day, reset your awareness, reset your five agnas. I do not understand Gujarati. This gentleman speaking in Hindi. No, there is a translation. Hindi translation is going on, is it not? But whether translation is with errors, he is saying in Hindi. No, even then it will be helpful to you. Whatever is necessary for you will be helpful to you. Jai Sachidanand. When I listen to you, it is exact, he says. Thus, the subatomic particles of the Gnani give their effect in the absence of the Gnani, a physical absence. The answer is it was his bhavna that the entire kshetra, the world, attains salvation. And and even human beings remember Dada and say, Dada, please help me, Dada, please help me. And so he wants to give and we want to take, and therefore, and ultimately, Dada Bhagwan, the word reaches one's own self only, it does not reach anyone else. Does not say that is, it reaches one's own self. That is why this will work for 1,000,000 years, 100,000 years. April 2014, Dadavani. This evening we will talk about the Dadavani of April 2014. She is asking a question about the soul from Dadavani of April 2014. But now we are so many so that we cannot take more than one question, ma'am. So now there are 10,000 people here. So how many questions can we take? Next one. Jai Sachidanand. Only the living, what you've seen live gives you knowledge, whereas, but we have not seen the soul live, therefore we cannot see and see. Are you really Babu Bhai or are you really pure soul? I'm pure soul. That means you have become pure soul. Through you have become the pure soul through the grace of the Gnani. Now you have to follow the instructions of the Gnani, the five agnas and the Pratikraman. Who made you awakened that to make you see the faults of Babu Bhai? Now you are able to see your own faults. You see, and that is called Atmagnan. You see, the world calls a person guilty and we say he is flawless and faultless. That is the difference. What is meant by seeing the soul? You see, the moment you see faults, that means the seer is the soul, you see. It says, you do not need to see the soul, you need to see the one who is seeing. In other words, when you see a human being, see the seer inside him. It is to see. To see means to understand. To see means to understand. Do you understand? That is the darshan. That is the vision. And then, when you get the experience that I am totally separate from the mind, speech, and body, then that is the knowledge that is there. You have now known that you now know that I am totally separate from the mind, speech, and body. Then therefore that is the experience of the soul, and so this is all experience. This is it is possible to experience this. You see, so that to be able to see what Uve is doing, that is called Atma, the soul. Next one, so said. What is the difference between knowledge of the self or knowledge of the Rhinasila? It's the same thing, that's all. The knowledge of the self is the same as the knowledge of the Rhinasila. No, not, the second question is not being answered. What is Antaray karma? What is obstruction karma? If the Antaray, obstruction karma will come in front of you, but you have to remain in equanimity. Next one. Next one. The six eternal elements and things, and versus the mind, intellect, ego, and chit. And then there is the suffering of kashais. Are they all avastu, non-thing? Yes, they are all non-things. They are not eternal. That which is eternal is called a thing. That which arose in ignorance will die in knowledge. That's all. Gnan. I became very angry. Did you become angry, or was it Uwe who became angry? That's all. As simple as that. Intellect, mind, ego, and chit, they're all avastu, they're wrong things. They have arisen out of wrong belief, and with right belief, it will fall away. Bharat Shah and Hasumati, and then Ashok Shah, Ahmedabad, all of these are being announced. Bharat Shah, question. So non-self is Pudgal, and Atma is the self. It is the living energy. What what about the transplanted heart and the kidney? Is it the soul component in there? Yes, no, but with this, before the soul leaves, within 1 or 2 hours, you see, the living, the heart has got its own inner energy, and it gets taken over by the recipient body. That for a little time after death, it is still warm. If you heat a steel ball, if you take away the stove from underneath it, the steel ball is still hot, is it not? But it is charged, Chetan. You see, it is charged self. For an hour or two, it's fine. Within death, it can be taken out. Kidneys and heart, etc. But you see, the soul has left. However, the residual effect has left, and during that residual effect, these organs can be harvested and transplanted into another another being. There is also the grafting that is taking place now in plants. How can we really settle the accounts of subatomic particles in Dadavani? Yes, you see, the account of subatomic particles is part of Vyavasthit only. You don't have to do anything about it. You just need to say, what should you do? You should say, Asumati, that's true, whatever Dada is saying, right? Yes. Just settle the file with equanimity. You see, the subatomic particles that come, you have to settle. The subatomic particles of insults that come to you, you have to settle them with equanimity. You see? Because what you have given out as bad words are coming back to you through hurtful words to you. So you don't have to, whatever, if file one hurts anyone else, then you really need to, do pratikraman, and if somebody hurts you, then you have to do pratikraman too, which is, you have to settle, apply the five agnas, and settle and apply the gnan that is there within you. You do not have to, when will I see that the eater is eating? Because I never look at the eater when I'm eating, she says. And so therefore, so then, but do you not wash your hands after a meal? And so before your meal also you wash your hands the same way. Do pratikraman before and after the act. If you do not like the food that is being served to you, you should not hurt the other person. That is all. Otherwise, as an old woman, oh, I don't like her cooking. I'll have to put up with this food for all my life. But all you have to do is to settle the file with equanimity, and don't blame your daughter-in-law or whoever she is who is cooking your food. No, can I do pratikraman in front of you? No, just meet the Aptaputri. Next one. Can you please explain to me the four levels of mistakes? Kakashais. What is gross, subtle mistakes? Gross mistakes means whatever that is happening through the five senses, all the clashes, everybody can see it through the five senses. That is called gross mistake. See, and he said it, and she cried. He said hard words and we made her cry. That is called gross mistake. Subtle mistake is externally is not evident. However, internally there is anger, and externally you say Jai Sachidananda, but inside you are burning up. You see, and you are having all kinds of opinions about the other person. You're having dvesh inside. You have negativity inside you. You're sukshmatar, and then we'll take sukshmatar and sukshmatam later on. If it comes in conduct, is there anything remaining pending? You see, only when the karma is done, then only you come into the conduct as the self, not conduct in the as yuta or as nada, but conduct as the self, charitra with a C capital. But when it is in conduct, absolute conduct, that means nothing will disturb you as the soul. No event in life will disturb you whatsoever or even touch you at all. There will be no effect at all. You will be the pure knower or seer of that which is happening to the non-self complex. Next one. Only when the Nishchay and Vyavahar, both wings, are in operation, when they are totally full, then one becomes and fully enlightened. Dadashri says, I have given you the Gnan of Nishchay, however, she is misquoting Dada, by the way, so I'm not going to quote her. No. Dada, Deepika says he's trying to say something different. It says, by remaining in the self in Nishcha, you have to improve your worldly interactions so that no one is hurt. When you become free from sexuality, then you have crossed ninth. When you become free from greed, then you have crossed 10th. And then you'll go into 12th and 13th, you see. So in this life, it says, in this life you may have things and you have got acquisitive, but it is possible for you to remain attain the experience of the pure soul in this life, and in the next life you will have absolute enlightenment, and then when you finish all the karma, you'll be fully enlightened. And when I have the darshan of Lord Simandar, will I have absolute enlightenment and absolute enlightenment? Yes, you will. So then I don't really need to really preserve all of this Gnan, but you just said that it says, no. Says Lord Mahavir once went to the primitive areas, and through the darshan of Lord Mahavir they attained full knowledge. When we do the darshan of the fully enlightened Lord in the next life, whatever is remaining will get finished. That is the final. When you are in the last state, your subtlest veil is removed. What kind of just finish your files here, and then you'll be ready for the Lord. Finish your files with equanimity, nothing else. Neither rag nor dvesh, neither attachment. When they treat you well, there is no rag. When they mistreat you, there is no dvesh. You just become the embodiment of love, and the embodiment of love will make you ready for the Lord in the next life. But there are many in Mahavita Kshetra right now, and what will happen to me? The entire world was there when Dada was here, but only few people could come to Dada. In the same way, there is the entire world at Mahavide in front of Lord, but only few come to the Lord. Those who have received Radha's Gnan from here on this earth will go there very near Lord Simandar. Otherwise, there'll be other people too there who are not concerned with Lord Simandar at all. Next one. Okay. The sun and the moon. The sun is the self, and moon is the indirect light that gives us light. On page 70, the sun is the sun is the intellect, and moon is the mind. These are all examples given. It says, when you rise above the mind and the intellect, you come to the self. That is all. But yeah, but actually, sir, the sun is a celestial being in there. Is a Jyotish Dev. And this light is its vehicle. And there is a Dev and a Devi, a male and a female form within the sun. And even the moon has two celestial beings in it. And then this is according to the Jain scriptures, by the way. We don't need to go too deep into it. We need to know that the physical scientists talk about it like this, whereas the spiritual scientists, spiritual scripture writers say this. Why can they remain as celestial beings? Because they have absolute brahmacharya, and so we appreciate them for and give our namaskars to them. In yesterday's samayik, I was able to was able to see the interactions of Filwan with different people. The intellect will show profit and loss, and ego will show the hurt. I feel like that the ego, anger, greed, pride, pride are all gone. From the very childhood, I was not. I was able to do a lot of pratikramans for all of this. Is this the right technique of samayik? He says anger, pride, deceit, and greed are absolutely gone. Don't say that they are absolutely gone. Yeah. Yes, I have done all the pratikramans and I was all cleared up. But he says, but I still have internal disturbances, so obviously they are not gone. Then you have deception, you have illusory attachment, you have greed, all of these are still there, are they not? And yes, if you can see them, that means you should recognize that the snakes are still there and they are covered up right now. You can't see them. That's all. And if you can see them, just sit in samayik again. And every time you see them, the seeing will free you from them. That is all. But as far as there is a lot of deceit and illusion within me. I have a lot of moha. I get attached a lot due to the illusion. I know that a lot of kashais have arisen because of all of this. And because, oh, Niruma, oh, Pujyashri, oh, Dada Bhagwan, please, I ask for your forgiveness. Please excuse me, please forgive me, so that I will not do this, so I will not hurt anyone, I will not do these deceitful things, I will not do these illusory things. Now next one, Ramesh Goradia and Himanshu Sunanda. 3 or 4 more people announced. 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 3 Jai Sachidanand. Dadashri says, remain in superfluous common knowledge, don't go into specific knowledge. Will you please explain? But the ego and intellect is there. Just five agnas is the best way to remain in common knowledge only. Shuddhatma and relative, they are all flawless. Five agnas is the best way to employ common knowledge without getting into the specific details of anything. Next one. Next one. Aptavani 3, page 23, there are two paragraphs in the middle. Let us take the next question. Ego, is the ego the one that is doing the Jagat Kalyan Bhavana? Yes, there is another, this is the secondary energy that we were talking about. And there is another energy that is making us do the Bhavana of Jagat Kalyan. Do we have a confirmation that we do have one or two more lives? The one who is doing the Bhavana of Jagat Kalyan, salvation of the world, then he will get he will get the nimitz who will free them. And so you see, if he wants to have cheesecake, then he will get people who will serve him cheesecakes. But if he wants liberation, then he will get the nimitz that will liberate him and will facilitate liberation for others only. So the bhavana of Jagat Kalyan, should it happen naturally? No. No. The ones who have become free, for them, the Jagat Kalyan bhavana is automatic and natural. And even if it is not happening when you recite the nine kalams, the ninth kalam is the bhavana of Jagat Kalyan. When we do the Jagat Kalyan bhavana, our own salvation is already there, but also there will be the salvation of others also, because you're putting the positive intentions in it. Let the entire world attain this beautiful peace and knowledge of the blissful knowledge of the self. As you see, the moment he receives the Gnanvidhi, he gets the feeling that he has become free, and then the bhavana starts within him. Next one is such the infinite knowledge, infinite vision, etc. are the qualities of the self. It says, what is this knowing seeing? The knowing seeing is the phases, the light. You see, the light is there, but the light rays fall on something. Whatever is being seen in the light is called the phases, you see. But the soul is the knower and the seer only, yes. On the basis of these attributes of the knowing and seeing, these phases arise. So but apart from the knowing and seeing, there are so many phases. Yes, there are many phases because it throws its lights on so many phases. And the self is not the mind, not the chit, not the. But then the Dadashri says, Shuddhatma is Shuddha Chit, pure Chit. Yes. And pure knowledge and vision is the self, whereas impure knowledge and vision is the non-self. Yeah. Next one, just a few. Next, Vijay Gohil and Vilas. When I came into Seva, then I don't feel like doing samayik. Do you have Seva every day? No. Why don't you arrange something? One is in Seva, then the other one is free to do samayik. So arrange in such a way in your team of Seva or in your team of service, so that everybody gets a chance to do samayik. Well, also please understand that in service you will never be short of Gnan. Gnan, even in Seva, your blockages are breaking. But the important thing is to do Seva without kashais. How is it that 10,000 people can sit here in peace and listen? Because there are so many people in Seva that this is happening. See, so many people are there that is the Seva is happening. So somebody has to do serve, is it not? So talk to your coordinator, say that you like to get a little free time because, so that you can attend satsang also. So I was told that I will get both also, but today again, next one. In the editorial, there's a small paragraph. The self is infinite energy and the non-self is also infinite self. But by wanting to know the energy of the non-self, it became trapped. The self became trapped. Because of the pressure of the non-self complex, the Pudgal, you see, the naimithic doership of the self arose. And there, and yeah, after Gnan, the pressures of the circumstances will happen, however, but the original self is never concerned with this at all. It is only the worldly interacting soul that gets trapped. The question is, after Gnan, Vidhi, knowledge and vision is the quality of the self. Then we look at the thoughts of the mind, and then we follow the thoughts of the mind. Then in the thoughts following the mind, we don't know what is right or wrong. You have to find out who walks the path of the mind. And and the intellect of Shantilal shows whether it is right or wrong. So you should know that the knower is knowing, and then what is happening is Shantilal. The entire complex of Shantilal is all happening. Whether Shantilal was at peace, whether he was insistent, whether he was oppositional, whether he was attacking, we should know all of this. And if he is any one of these above, then you should talk to Shantilal and say, Shantilal, why are you hurting other people? Why are you so angry? Why don't you improve your... But so the soul is absolutely separate from them, so is aware. But having done any kind of hurt to the others, the pratikraman has to be done by Shantilal. I wanted to ask you about prajna. The prajna is the direct light of the soul. There is in this universe, there is only the soul and the circumstance only. And the soul is not concerned with the right or the wrong at all. But the problem is that you have the problem with the right and the wrong and the good and the bad. The soul is not concerned with it. But you see, but you're the one who sees it right or wrong, is it not? Because there is only one mother that awakens you from inside, and that is the prajna mother inside. Otherwise, nothing will tell you that this is the non-self and this is the self, and come on this side of the self. Don't mess with the non-self. Don't interfere with the non-self. Don't enter into kashais. Don't get absorbed. And this is through the grace and the compassion of the Gnani that he has awakened us. Otherwise, you see, the worldly people will pull you and drag you all over the world in all worldly matters only. You understand? Um, Now the next one is Vipin Desai. Jai Sachidanand Puji Shri Nita. Page 28. What is filled? The filling can be seen only by the Gnani in his Gnan. The first filling happens through intention. And through ignorance, bhav arises, and through intentions, the Gnani na Gnan. Only in the Gnani's Gnan, he can see the charging at the subtle level. This is the talk, the Gnani and Dada Bhagwan, Gnani Purush Dadashri and Tirthankars can see the actual charging. We only see the discharge when it happens. We do not see anything else. We see that the discharge is from the charge. You see, that is why we can get an idea of this, you see, of the charge. There is this fight between the Gnani Bhavo and the Agnani Bhavo, the ignorant one and the one with the knowledge within. And what is the mistake when the fight between the two? And whatever mistake comes, it is coming there. But if we become Tanmayakar at the subtler level, then it gets mistakes. So Sukshma term level is Pudgal. Who is responsible for all of this? You see, if he does not become Tanmayakar, then there is no responsibility. By becoming absorbed, by feeling that this is happening to me, by becoming Uve, by through VDPPS, Vidhi Vachan Pratikraman Samayik. Yes, this is, yes, you see, because of the wrong veils, because number 12 glasses that you are wearing, you see, this clashes happen, but slowly, but as you become free from all of these clashes, then you will start. Yeah, when we scold Chandulal, why are you doing this? It does not reach Sukshmatam, which is the subtle. The Chandu is so that we have separated. So the entire, so the Sukshmatar at the subtler level, it is only Chandu. When you talk to Chandu, that is the line of demarcation, really. We have also everything goes on the other side of the line of demarcation. Sukshmatam ego gets fractured in the Gnan Vidhi, so there is no Sukshmatam ego. Only the Sukshmatar is the one that is in discharge ego that tends to get absorbed and believes. But if you believe that you are Uve, then you are at the subtler level becoming Uve, but in discharge. But you have become absolutely separate at the subtlest level. And you see, at the subtlest level, of course, the sense that I am this body remains, that you can call it at the subtlest level. However, so why? What is the point in scolding Chandubai when he is separate from us? You see, the thing is, you are becoming separate from the belief. But you see, but the conduct is as Chandu only, and therefore you have to tell the awakened one has to tell Chandu, why are you still believing in the old knowledge only? Why are you hurting others because of the old knowledge? Your new knowledge tells you that he is flawless, that he is not at fault at all, you see. And when your belief is gone that you are Uve, that means the subtlest level is gone. However, the subtler level still remains that I am Uve. The discharge ego still remains, and which makes you, it is the discharge ego that becomes Tanmayakar, becomes absorbed as Uva. You are not becoming absorbed. How did the Pudgal arise? Pudgal arose because of our wrong belief, and now with the exact and prevailing experience of the right belief, you will remain separate from the Pudgal. we had the ignorant results of ignorance prevailing before we entered into the Gnanvidhi, and after the entering the Gnanvidhi, even when we have the awareness of the self, there is a prevailing ignorance of the in discharge, and that is what is the confusion. It's just, but the real understanding reaches very much at the subtlest level, is it not? No, and the belief knowledge is changing. I is in three levels. The I is at experience, awareness, and conviction. It is the projection of the I only. When I comes 100% in conviction, the belief has changed completely. But 98% of the knowledge and the experience is still lacking, and 85% of the awareness is lacking, and so and and it, and so by remaining in prajna, you are able to see where in discharge the gross, the subtle, and the subtler is still prevailing in discharge. But we need to understand that this is wrong vision. The wrong knowledge is being divided through five agnas and the right vision only. And so the subatomic particles will get first. So, the prajna gives the understanding to the awakened soul only. The one who has become awakened and aware, prajna is awakening him. But you see, at the subtler level, one becomes one. You see, you become who we tend to become away at that time. But slowly through who has the energy and the authority to do bhav at the subtler level? No, the one, the the I has the authority to do bhav. If where is he? Where is he prevailing? The worldly people are in ego and intellect, and therefore they all are. And they say, and then they are in the mind, body, and speech only, and they are. And if his shirt is slightly pulled from the back, he will turn around and give you a slap. And therefore, he is behaving as a human being, as a body complex. At the sun, but Dada has Dada has moved you into the realm of the self and to the territory of the self only, and therefore by through the five agnas, and has melted the subtlest, but now the subtle and the gross remain to be dissolved through the five agnas. It is on the sukshmatar, the subtler has arisen because of wrong belief only. But now, with the prevailing right belief, all the other three will melt off. See? When you see at the subtler I-ness arises, that I am away at the subtler level. At that time, prajna says, "No, I am not uve. Uve is just the non-self complex." You see, and so every time when prajna arises at the line of demarcation, that I am not uve, I'm not katya, this is all happening to the non-self complex, then all of this starts getting dissolved. You see. And so then he will not move outside, then that is our Purushat. We do not move out of ourself only. After Gnan, he doesn't do Vibhav, right? And so who does Pratikraman? He is doing it. He sits in the seat of Chandu and then asks for forgiveness. The self does not move, but he just kind of sits in the self. Once he clears off his mistakes, then he comes back to the self only. It is the same one. You see, when it is homework, you see, if you are playing cards, you see, it's the same one kind of throwing cards and different kinds of cards, you see, for different individuals. The same one is playing, is a solo card player playing three different types of cards. I, Bavo, and Mangaldas, you see. So it depends upon, it says, I'm the walker, I'm the speaker, I'm the talker, I'm the thinker, I'm the eater, I'm the doer. But then slowly I'm the knower only in all of this. We are sitting in prajna and we are making, it says, we sit in the prajna and the make the awakened one back. Samayik now, the Pudgal in infinite, in Anant Bhage, in infinite look divisions, it is constantly changing. When something good happens, we do ragvesh. Something bad happens, we do ragvesh. But it is the miraculous play of the Pudgal only. And Pudgal is in a miraculous play in infinite divisions. You see? And when it is happening to Pudgal, but when something good happens, we say, I did it. When something bad happens, we blame somebody else, and therefore we start seeing faults of others in this. And so today we are going to see the samayik, that this is all the karamat or the miraculous play of the non-self complex only. No? And so that which was filled is now emptying. That if anger was filled, then anger will come in discharge. And how does one become angry? If somebody tells me a lie, then I will really take care of him. I'll get very angry. And therefore that goes in intentions, and then in this life he will get more people to lie to him, to tell him lies. So this is all filled stock that is coming up, you see. So the filling and emptying is happening of the intention of anger only, and that is all part of the non-self complex of the miraculous play of Pudgal only, the non-self. And this is the filled stock that is emptying. Instead of seeing the emptying of the filled stock, we call him a liar, we tell him mean person, we call him a rogue, we call him nonsense, we become angry. And so we should just tell Uve or Shuddha to do pratikraman for this. We need to be aware in all of this, that it is that which was filled, mine and the other person's filled stock is emptied. He is not the liar, he is a pure soul only. Scientific circumstantial evidences are the reason why this is happening. But because of my anger, I hurt him, therefore I have to make Shuddha, I have to make Uva do pratikraman for it, that's all. And so then you should have this sense of compassion, that how can he, the other person, also become free from all this junk, all this garbage. That is, the pure soul is separate, the chandu is separate, you see. And you can send positive signals to the chandu, or the other person's chandu also. And we need to remain separate from our own chandu, file number 1. We need to see the other person separate from his file number 1. And we need to see the relative interacting with the relative, be compassionate towards the relative, and we also need to do pratikraman for any hurt caused through the Pudgals, the non-self to the non-self. Okay? Everybody understand this? Okay, so we have a magnificent scene of the entire Parayan Dadanagar hall now. And this is a very practical talk. This is the play of the Pudgal only, and it is part of discharge only. And if somebody vomits, we don't hit him, do we? We just stroke his back and say, I hope you feel better, It's just vomited, So if he vomited, stroke his back a little bit, so he'll feel a little better. Nobody is vomiting deliberately. Vomiting happens. You see, eating happens. It says, so those who are eating the food, if you vomit something, therefore you have to be careful what you put inside your mouth, you see. And so in the same way, so this is the vomiting of karma only, to tell a lie, to cheat others, to hurt others. This is the vomiting of karma only. What was filled is emptying. This is the miraculous play of the Pudgal only. We need to be aware that he is a pure soul, separate. The one who is fighting is separate from him. I am separate, and the one who has been hurt is separate. So there are four, and then at the most, make the other person do pratikraman. And if you're not disturbed, then if you're not disturbed, then you should have some compassion. And if you do not have compassion, then you should have the prayer. So compassion is, of course, the highest inner state. Because you see, when you are a Gnani, then you have compassion, but otherwise, if you are less than a Gnani, then you have to pray and say, oh my Lord, please help the other person. You see, Karuna is a very high level. Karuna means compassion, but we can come down a little bit to the prayer, to the pure soul of the other person, that let him become free from such mistakes too. And so let us set this understanding within that person and within our own self. And you see, if somebody falls down because he took the wrong medicine, then he becomes dizzy and falls down, then that means you can not find fault with him, do you? You see, in the same way, what happens in darkness, in ignorance, cannot be blamed. Nobody is to be blamed in this. You cannot see anyone in blame, guilty, in discharge. It is in the fill stock that is emptying, and whatever has happened to Shuddha, has happened to Ube, not to me only. And let me see the self only in everyone, and let me see the settling of the accounts only. Let me see it in exact separation. Everybody understands this? Yes. Let us do the samayik vidhi now. O Dada Bhagwan, Ye Shri Simandar Swami Prabhu, the Lord Simandar, with the exact applied awareness as the pure soul, in the interactions of clashes in the other person, let me see the pure soul in him. Let me see the filled stock of Chandu emptying. And today it is discharging only. Let me see it as separate. Let me see it separate. And let me see it as discharging of file 1 also. And it is discharge of the other file 2. And let me see the miraculous play of this discharging Pudgals. And let me remain in the state of the pure soul. Let me see the pure soul of the other person. Let me see the discharge of the Pudgals. Let me see that only. Let me do such a samayik. Give me the energy for the pure soul. Let me see the pure soul as the elemental self. And let me also see that by relative viewpoint also it is flawless. And let me see the relative as pure too and flawless. I surrender this mind, speech and body, all illusions associated with my name, bhav karma, charge karma, dravya karma, the subtle discharge karma, no karma, gross discharge karma. O Dada Bhagwan, absolute self within me, I surrender. You are the manifest self within me, and I'm surrendering them all unto your divine feet. I am surrendering them all unto your Shuddhatmachu, 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 Shuddhatma chu, 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 Shuddhatma chu. Jai Sachidanand, Jai Sachidanand. Go deep and do a beautiful samayik. There is no rush to go for lunch. Just do it at leisure and enter into pure awareness of the soul self and see the Pudgal and see the pure soul of the other person and just go beautifully into it. Jai Sachidanand. Jai Sachidanand. Jai Sachidanand.
Okay. So,
Okay, Shuddhatma Bhagavan.
We can say goodbye to the German team here.
Jai Sachidanand.
So, you sleep well, man. Thank you very much for the beautiful translation, and thank you also for the translation of yesterday morning. It's a great gift. Everybody was very happy, and thanks. Everybody thanks Shuddha here.
Everybody thanks Uwe and everybody present. Thank you, Jai Sachidanand.
Yes, sleep well and to see each other tomorrow.
All right.
Jai Sachidanand. Good
Jai
night. Bye. So, ihr Lieben, wir sehen uns um 12:30 Uhr wieder. Dann außerhalb vom Bett hier. Ich bin gemütlich hier in meinem Reichchen mit Lord und Dada. Und wir sehen uns dann um 12:30 Uhr wieder. Macht's gut. Jai Sachidanand.
દાદાથી પ્રગટ્યું આ અક્રમ વિજ્ઞાન જગત કલ્યાણના ભાવનું પરિણામ અનંત અવતારની શોધ પ્રાપ્ત થયો સહજ અક્રમ મોક્ષ
દાદાથી પ્રગટ્યું આ અક્રમ વિજ્ઞાન જગત કલ્યાણના ભાવનું પરિણામ અનંત અવતારની શોધ પ્રાપ્ત થયો સહજ અક્રમ મોક્ષ
अलौकिक अक्रम मार्ग खुल्लो थयो आज संसारीने मोक्ष धाम लई जवा काज प्रगट्या दादा भगवान।